Hi again, everybody. I'm Michelle Tafoya, and welcome to Olympic Late Night. Tonight, one of the most heated rivalries in hockey's Dream Tournament. It's Team USA against Canada, and you'll see that live. Plus, we'll hear from two members of the USA women's hockey team who are also getting ready to face Canada in the biggest game of their lives. And, of course, the latest edition of Rock and Roll Highlights. We'll see you between periods. Sean McDonough and John Davidson will have the call of Team USA against Canada live right after this.
On the frozen ponds in Canada, children learn to skate almost from the moment they can walk. From these first few strides, the dream of raising Lord Stanley's Cup is born. The first serious threat to Canada's hockey nobility was the Soviet Union. Then, a year and a half ago, Tony Amonte's World Cup winning goal announced Team USA's arrival as a superpower. A new rivalry has been ignited as the Canadians' honor is being challenged by the USA. Canada, USA, a border war to be waged on a frozen battlefield half a world away. Today, America's finest face off against Canada's best. There's been tremendous anticipation, obviously, in North America for this game, and the same is true here in Japan. This is a scene about an hour and a half ago. The crowd outside Big Hat was so large that the security personnel decided to open the gates to the hockey arena 15 minutes early so the folks could get in here and get off the street, and those who had standing room tickets immediately running for the best positions to watch the United States and Canada in the final game of final round action. Final round action, a bit of a misnomer. They will move on to the quarterfinals after today. Great scene inside Big Hat, and it's obvious whom each of the fans is cheering for. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Sean McDonough along with John Davidson. It's great to have you with us. It's hard to believe that, at least in the hockey world, the United States and Canada have lost Russia as the arch enemy and have gained each other, but that has been the case since the World Cup of Hockey in '96.
The World Cup of Hockey, Sean, it was a 5-2 U.S. win in the final. Mike Richter was great in goal. Tony Amonte had to win. Now, if you really think about it, this may be the only time these two teams meet in these Olympics once the crossovers start and all that. And the bonus for us is we get to see this game here today, and tomorrow the women go for the gold medal game with Canada and the United States too. So the border war is on.
The women's rivalry every bit as heated as this one. Here at the Olympics, both teams arrived as co-favorites for the gold medal in the opinion of most, but the Canadians have been far more impressive with victories over Belarus and Sweden, while the United States lost to Sweden and defeated Belarus. It's simple for Canada today, a win or a tie, and they win Group A, and they'll play the weakest team coming out of Group B in the quarterfinals. The Americans still have a chance to finish atop the Group A standings, but they need a victory today by at least 3 goals. The Canadians taking the ice. And JD, how about the keys for this game?
Well, I think more than anything else for Team USA, their win over Belarus, they felt that they played pretty well in the last 10 minutes. The best hockey. They started to get into the groove a little bit. So Coach Ron Wilson's going with the same 4 lines, and he wants to rotate those lines. You need all your forwards in this type of tournament. It's a short tournament. It's big ice. There's a lot of skating. And to me, Mike Richter has to be, I think, the best player on the ice. He's going to be tested by Canada. Canada is a big, fast team. They have a combination of defense and offense, and Mike Richter will be busy. He will be tested. And when they did win the World Cup, he was the most valuable player there. He was awesome in the last game to win it. Canada also, I think when you look at their club, you think about Eric Lindros. Eric Lindros is their captain. And someone asked him, you know, Eric, that's a big burden being the captain of Team Canada in the Olympics where nothing less than a gold is acceptable. He said, it's not a burden, it's an opportunity. Well, to me, this is it right here, a chance for him to go head-to-head with Team USA.
Down at ice level, here's Darren Pang.
Ron Wilson, big game, obviously. What are some of the things you liked about your last game heading into this game against Canada?
Well, I thought we started to simplify, and we're going to have to do that to be successful tonight. Chipping it off the boards, cross-corner jumps, and establishing our forecheck.
This is what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. And I'd like to say to Janice Peterson and Martha Johnson, it's a great day for hockey.
Good luck, Ron.
Thank you, Darren.
It is indeed a great day for hockey, and we'll return to Big Hat after a word from your local station. And we welcome you back live inside Big Hat. Live men's ice hockey in the United States and Canada. The Americans coached by Ron Wilson, the coach of the Washington Capitals, formerly the coach of the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. He was the man who led Team USA to its notable victory in the 1996 World Cup of Hockey.
It'll be interesting to see what type of strategy that Ron Wilson has for Team Canada. Will they trap? And both these coaches, you can see the looks on their faces. Mark Crawford for Team Canada, they're enjoying the moment here. The Olympics are so special. They're looking around in the crowd, watching everybody, enjoying the whole thing. By the way, with Patrick Waugh and Mike Richter going, you get two of the very best in the world against one another in goal. And you heard Ron Wilson mention Martha Johnson and Janice Peterson. Martha, the widow of Bob Johnson. Janice, the widow of the coach Dave Peterson. A great day for hockey was a term made famous by Bob Johnson. He never had a bad day. His team could lose 8 in a row and he'd say, you know what, but it's a great day for hockey. And for Ronnie Wilson to mention that, that was pretty special.
Bob Johnson and Dave Peterson, both longtime coaches in the USA national program. People around the country involved with hockey thought so much of both of them. The street on which the USA Hockey offices is located in Colorado Springs is named Bob Johnson Drive.
Well, their work and many hours and days and months and years of work have elevated the program to what you're seeing here. This should be a great game. USA and Canada going nose to nose.
Even though his mates haven't played very well in front of him, Mike Richter has been excellent in each of the first 2 games for the United States, and of course Patrick Waugh for Canada, one of the all-time great clutch goalies, the winningest goalie in NHL playoff history. The Canadians lead the all-time series in Olympic competition, 8 wins to 2 for the United States and 3 ties. They last met in the last Olympic Games in the preliminary round in Lillehammer. It was a 3-3 tie. Of course, the United States finished out of the medals in Lillehammer and hasn't won a medal since 1980. While the Canadians won the silver, losing in the gold medal game to Sweden in a shootout. Canada is seeking gold for the first time since 1952.
Bill McCreary is the referee for this game, a veteran NHL official. He has been tough on players that have talked back after penalties have been called. He'll give unsportsmanlike penalties out. He's also been very tough on hitting from behind with your hockey stick, so players should be aware of that. By the way, Kerry Fraser will referee the next game with Russia playing the Czech Republic.
Jeremy Roenick, we understand, approached the coaches about being matched up against Eric Lindros, and he's out there to take the draw with Lindros. And Bill McCreary, last word for each of the face-off participants. Team USA in white. Roenick won the draw for the Americans. Here's Darian Hatcher scaling it into the right wing corner, and Waugh behind the net. Chris Pronger for Canada. Around the near boards to Shane Corson, rink wide, looking for Rod Brindamore. And in those close-ups of Brindamore during the warm-up, you could see the emotion on his face. Bill Guerin out to the neutral zone for Jeremy Roenick. And it's played away from him by Pronger to Corson at the line. And now Brindamore, who played collegiately at Michigan State, sends it into the corner. Brian Leach, an assistant captain for Team USA, to Bill Guerin. He flips to center, and Chris Pronger took it down. The Americans change. And Joe Nieuwendyk was offside as Pronger carried the puck across the blue line.
Eric Lindros, his first shift was 33 seconds long. He has been bothered by a cold. I think he wants to manage his ice time as much as possible. He just said basically we're all struggling with the cold, but he thinks everybody's got it around here as far as the hockey players go. You can see it, his eyes were glassy this morning when we were talking to him. By the way, Eric, Patrick Waugh, Bobby Clark, amongst a couple of other guys, met with Team Canada's women's team, had a private meeting about Team Canada getting off track a little bit. They're not playing as well as Team USA is, so they're trying to calm them down to get them ready for the gold medal game. Team USA has been just super getting ready for their gold medal game.
That's tomorrow here in Nagano. We'll have coverage on CBS. Keith Tkachuk in his own zone, fed it to Chris Chelios. Chelios, the captain of this year's United States hockey team. Pushed back into the zone by Theoren Fleury, longtime member of the Calgary Flames. More than a minute gone by and no score. The two teams feeling each other out with bloody nose along the bench area. No goals, but blood has been drawn already in this battle. Off the face-off, Wayne Gretzky put a shot right on goal as the puck was dropped in the face-off dot. And Richter was called upon to make a save. The player with the bloody nose on the American bench is Adam Deadmarsh. We'll get a report from Darren Pang in a moment on his condition. Matthew Schneider turned the puck over to Brendan Shanahan. Long drive. save made by Richter.
That was a good save. Shanahan has one of the better long shots in the entire world. He can beat a goaltender from 40 or 50 feet. Richter was tested.
John LeClaire had the puck deflected into the Canadian bench.
Wayne Gretzky's a tricky face-off guy. Generally, you go backwards. Here he goes forwards. Doug Wade also helped it by pulling the puck backwards, and Richter was tested there right off the draw. And then there was the long shot by Shanahan from just outside the blue line. A good view by Mike Richter as his defenseman get out of the way.
Let's check in with Darren Pang.
You mentioned Adam Deadmarsh, Sean, and certainly they're adjusting his nose a little bit. I think they're a little bit concerned possibly with a fracture there. A little cut under the left eye. Looks like he'll be ready to go momentarily.
Nearly 2 minutes played, no score. Brian Leach grew up in Cheshire, Connecticut. Tries to wrist one toward the cage. It deflected off a skate of Eric Desjardins. Picked up by Jamie Langenbrunner. Joel Otto fed it into the corner to Pat LaFontaine. And his pass intended for Langenbrunner. Intercepted. Back comes Team Canada. Desjardins, a wrist shot just wide. And now the Americans break the other way. Langenbrunner tried to feed it to LaFontaine. The late offside here waved off against the Americans as the Canadians cleared the zone. Mark Recchi with his mates in the midst of a line change. Wristed one wide. 2.5 minutes played. An icing call. Chris Chelios was just beyond the red line when he dumped the puck into the corner. No score early in Nagano. Adam Deadmarsh is on the ice. Darren Pang tells us he was in quite a bit of pain on the bench. You can still see the blood stain just above his lip, and he has a bandage on his nose.
He never missed a shift. I think he's having trouble seeing. Certainly the blood is still oozing out of the nose, but he hasn't missed a shift. Tough kid is Adam Deadmarsh. Pete Demers, the trainer, did some work on it so he can get back on the ice.
Ray Bourque across to Rob Blake. Blake was outstanding in the Canadian victory over Sweden. His attempt to flip it into the corner went over the glass. And the faceoff comes to the neutral zone with 16:56 remaining in period 1.
Patrick Waugh had the stick stripped away. The training staff at Canada's bench now is taking a stick and putting it all the way down to that end of the ice. As in case Patrick Waugh needs a stick, it's down at the end of the bench where it would be a short change. They can get it quick. By the way, here above the glass in the end zones, it's webbing. A mesh, and the puck will not go into the stands. It ricochets back onto the ice surface. Something the NHL is looking at. They've been impressed with that here. Of course, the play is stopped, but it keeps play moving quicker, and fans don't get injured.
We visited with NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman yesterday, and he had a piece of that mesh in his hands. Wants to bring it back to the States.
The thing is, it's black here, and what he'd like to do is find the clear stuff, the see-through stuff like fishing line.
One criticism, though, of these nets, JD, has been that the pucks stay in play longer. They bounce back onto the rink after whistles, and that perhaps that's one of the reasons why they bounce. They're not frozen after a while.
Today's game, Sean, they're going to change the puck every 4 to 5 minutes and make sure they got a fresh frozen one on the ice to try to take away from the loose puck bouncing around the ice surface. They're very aware of it and trying to correct it.
Kevin Hatcher with Team Canada in the midst of a change. Hatcher, the older of the two Hatcher brothers who played defense for Team USA, dumped it in behind the net. And here's Steve Yzerman, longtime captain of the Detroit Red Wings. Shanahan couldn't handle his pass. Now Darian Hatcher, the 25-year-old, sent it across to Brian Leach. He drove it in.
So far, 4 minutes in, both teams very conscious about defensive play. We haven't seen the odd man rushes.
Neither team wants to make the first big mistake. Doug Wade flipped to the line. Chance to break in, but Joe Sakic couldn't handle the pass from Scott Stevens.
That was almost one of them right there. The flip pass, or the flip dump in did not work. Scotty Stevens read it beautifully, and Sakic nearly got away.
Off the draw, the Americans in control. Chris Chelios fed the puck to Gary Suter. This defense pairing of Chelios and Suter, also teammates with the Chicago Blackhawks. Each played at the University of Wisconsin. Pete Primo heading the other way for the Canadians. He was stopped, and Joel Otto looks it in on Waugh.
That's interesting. You have 3 of them there. You've got Suter, Chelios from the University of Wisconsin, along with the goaltender, Mike Richter.
And the puck taken away by Jamie Langenbrunner. He turned it right back over to Rob Blake.
Canada's been good at their own blue line. Team USA, again, has not been able to penetrate as a unit over the line, making offense. Canada's defense stands up. They have long reaches, especially Pronger and Blake.
More than 5 minutes played. Chelios couldn't knock it in. Pronger batted it right out of midair. And the Americans are offside.
That's that reach at the blue line. Pronger's got a long one.
Canadians control the face-off. Chris Pronger left the puck for Eric Lindros. Sweeping around the boards, looking for Brindamore. He couldn't handle it. Roenick sends Adam Deadmarsh the other way. Bill Guerin touched it off to Roenick. Guerin heads for the net. Roenick shot deflected and batted down by Waugh. The loose rebound still free and cleared from Harn's way by Rod Brindamore.
Now the Team USA is using the neutral zone trap, and Team Canada tried a specific breakout they've worked on in practice for that trap. But Team USA won that battle of the breakout.
Matthew Schneider up the middle for Deadmarsh. Deadmarsh dumps it into the left wing corner. He heads off. Chip goes into forecheck. Fleury tried to touch it off to Joe Nieuwendyk. He gobbled it up at center ice. Nieuwendyk trying to shed his Dallas Stars teammate Mike Nagano. Then he got slammed by Darian Hatcher. Kachuk lost it off the back of Tony Amonte's skates. Nagano made a little move just outside the line, dragged the puck behind him, and the play was offside.
Let's talk about that breakout that Canada wanted to use. Well, first of all, as you see the puck move ahead. Now stop it there, guys. As it's set up, you'll see Team USA trying to play the trap. The puck is fired out. We'll roll it ahead some. Actually, that's not the correct one. We apologize. But Team USA has been really good here in the neutral zone. Canada now not getting the flow that they want.
Ron Wilson, 42 years old. Mark Crawford, even younger. He just turned 37 during the first couple of days of the Olympic Games. He has two players on his team older than he is. Wayne Gretzky and Raymond Bourque. Recchi poked it along the far boards, sent back to the line by Brett Hull. Hull number 15 for the United States. Brian Leach around to Darian Hatcher. Brett Hull. Now Doug Waite. Waite trying to cut in. Here's a backhand try for Leclerc, and the stop made by Waugh. Doug Waite lost the battle with Recchi along the far boards. Obvious support in the crowd today for Team USA. Not much life in the building during their first two games. Part of that because of the way the Americans played, while Canada's had a raucous crowd supporting its cause over the first two games. Keith Primo's slap shot went well wide. Back comes John Leclerc out of St. Albans, Vermont. His long drive was knocked down by the blocker Patrick Waugh. No score. More than 7 minutes played. And the action picking up a bit after the early feeling out process. These two teams undoubtedly nervous at the start. Much hype surrounding this game. Chelios. JD, is it true what they tell us about the atmosphere in Canada that really ever since the Americans won the World Cup, everybody in that country's been looking forward to the Olympics as a chance for redemption? Oh
yeah, it's a lifeblood for the country. You know, there's a Molson's Beer Company up there. They have a 1-800 number. If you phone it, you can put a wake-up call in. And no matter where you are across the country, you'll get a phone call at your house, and you get to wake up and watch the game if it starts at 4 in the morning or whatever it is, whenever the Canadian games are played, Canadian time. And that's also helped the TV rating.
I would think so. I would imagine that beer company is also one of the TV sponsors, yes, if they're anxious for people to watch the games. Kevin Hatcher banked it out to center ice. Went through. Rob Zamenhof. Chris Pronger was there to send it back to the line. Now Kevin Hatcher again. Strange bounce out of the corner. Wow, caught behind the net, but Adam Deadmarsh was tied up by Zamner. Now a drive by Kevin Hatcher, blocked into the crowd by Waugh. 8:23 played and still no score. Face-off won by Team Canada, and it's Rod Brindamore out to center ice. He takes a check at the line, delayed offside here against the Canadians. Waved off as the puck was sent the length of the ice by Darian Hatcher. Icing the call.
Here in this building with the wider ice, for goaltenders it's an adjustment. The glass and boards are further away from the goal net, and goaltenders automatically think if the puck's shot in, you can go behind the net and get the puck. Well, it didn't come behind the net. It hit the glass and caromed in front because it's a different angle here at the Olympic Arena, and Patrick Waugh did get trapped. The Deadmarsh almost had a tip in, empty netter, but there was some good back checking there by the two Canadian players. And Deadmarsh, again, who's playing with that possible fractured nose, has not missed a shift and nearly got the first one.
Canadians with the edge. Face-off, 7-3. This will be Lindros against Nagano. To the right of Richter. Won by Nagano to Darian Hatcher. Now Brian Leach. Off the boards for Keith Tkachuk. Bad pass forces Hatcher deeper into his own end. 2 men in deep for Canada. And it's Al McInnes in his own zone. Scott Stevens, New Jersey Devils. Out to the red line. Taken away by Keith Tkachuk. Now Nagano dumped it back for Brian Leach. And his shot was blocked by McInnes. McInnes up the middle for Shane Corson. Lindros tried to feed it back to Corson and it missed. And the Canadians change lines. Corson stays on to go into the corner and forecheck.
That's the best team USA has looked in their own zone so far in this tournament. They are really concentrating. You can almost read their minds. Look at that play by Leclerc. His team was changing, so he regrouped, moved the puck back. Now his team can challenge.
Doug Waite dumps it in. Coach Wilson was hoping that the sight of Team Canada would get his team going, and perhaps it has. Wayne Gretzky had it poked away by Chelios. Leclerc with some skating room. He's waiting for help. Leclerc trying to dump it off for Waite, and a penalty coming up here. Waite was pitchforked down, and the Canadians called for the first penalty of the hockey game, and it's number 99, the great one, Wayne Gretzky, going off for interference.
Canada's club is very excited about Gretzky's defensive play, and here he's back playing defense on Doug Waite, but with the hook, USA gets a power play.
Team USA on the power play. Pat LaFontaine lost the faceoff to Steve Yzerman. And Rob Blake sent it the length of the ice. Wayne Gretzky off for interference at 9:50. A rare penalty called against the great one. In 57 games for the New York Rangers in the NHL this season, he's had just 12 penalty minutes. And the Americans offside. They now have 1:42 left on the power play. No score midway through the first period.
Pat LaFontaine will get specialty ice time on the power play. He's one of the better power play people in the league. Dallas Stars, their power play is ranked #1, so Mike Modano gets to play on the forward line right now with LaFontaine and Tkachuk. It's an interesting power play. You've got a quarterback in Leach. You've got a big guy in Kevin Hatcher, who's got a good shot from the point. Modano will skate all over the place. LaFontaine's a face-off specialist, and Keith Tkachuk, he'll stand right in front of the net. He's very good at finding loose pucks around the front of the goal net if their power play gets set up.
Rob Blake banked it into the American zone. Brian Leach for Team USA with Rob Zaminer, excellent penalty killer, in the forecheck. Zaminer picked for the Canadian team is somewhat of a surprise for his role-playing ability. The shot by Modano was blocked. Still free, bottom of the circle. Tkachuk sent it to the board. LaFontaine, to Leach, and back to Pat LaFontaine. They're teammates with the Rangers, LaFontaine and Leach. Bad pass by Leach. Hatcher couldn't play it, but the puck was not cleared out by Yzerman. Down to a minute left on the power play. Leach had it hop off his stick. He sends it in behind the net. Bourque took it away from Tkachuk. And Hatcher couldn't stop it with his leg at the point.
Great play by Raymond Bourque. He does everything hard. He passes the puck hard. Eric Lindros said he's the hardest backhand passer he's ever seen. Takes the body hard. He fires the puck out of the zone hard. Passes the puck to teammates hard. He's just a good player.
Canadian fans booing Gary Suter. He was the player who delivered the hit on Paul Kariya. But not Kariya out of the Olympics. Paul Kariya, one of the great players in the world, would have been on the Canadian club, but injured in an episode in an NHL game just before the Olympic break. Here's a shorthand bid for Canada. Primo out in front, and he backhanded one wide. He had Richter down, but missed the net. 15 seconds left on Gretzky's penalty. John Leclerc trying to work on Pronger. Pronger used that long reach to poke it away. And it comes back to Leclerc. Right out in front. His backhand stopped by Waugh. 2 seconds left on Gretzky's penalty. He's out of the box. Head to the bag at full strength. Suter with a rolling puck had trouble with it. Out in front. Batted away from the net by Pronger. No score. 8 minutes remaining in the first period. Sean McDonough, John Davidson, Darren Tang, Big Hat, delighted to have you with us. And the playoff side, Gretzky diddled outside the line, and Darren Fleury slammed his stick down to the ice and barked at Gretzky of all people.
One great scoring chance for each team on the Team USA's power play. Team USA tried to set up their power play, and Canada played a very tight box. They didn't challenge too much. Here in the big ice, you can't go running at people unless there's a loose puck. Now there's a loose puck, and you see Canada go running at the and get the puck. Yzerman couldn't get it out. Now the Canadian team again recover defensively. And as soon as the puck got loose, that's when they went after somebody. Other than that, when you play here, you can't get crazy with the big ice and challenge people too much on the penalty kill. That was a 2-on-1 that Primo shot wide.
Darian Hatcher to Jeremy Roenick. Roenick passed it off for Brian Leach. Roenick heads for the net. Deadmarsh back for Leach. Look behind the net. Nobody there for Team USA. Scott Stevens banked it back out to the neutral zone. Darian Hatcher, native of Michigan, in his 7th NHL season, all with the Minnesota/Dallas franchise. Darren Fleury coming in for the Canadians, and they get a line change. Shots on goal, 5-2 in favor of Team USA, but still no score. And a 2-line pass, Deadmarsh to Garrett, and a face-off upcoming. Back to Big Hat after this. Eric Lindros won the face-off. Face-offs 11-4 in favor of Canada. Jamie Langenbrunner, last-minute addition to the team. Aaron McEachern had to head back to the United States with lingering back trouble. At the red line, Ray Bourque got it back into the zone. Lindros handed it back over to Matthew Schneider. Now Langenbrunner with LaFontaine breaking ahead. Pass a little bit too far ahead of LaFontaine, and that's an icing call against the Americans.
Automatic icing here at the Olympic tournament. As soon as the puck goes over that goal line, it's an automatic whistle. Here you see Schneider on the puck, and Lindros moves in. Lindros wants to take the body, but he also knows that he doesn't want to go out of the way to throw body checks. Here in the Olympics, there's no TV timeouts like you get in North America. In North America, 4 times per period of play. The players are saying, man, we missed those TV timeouts because it gave us a chance to sit on the bench and rest. And with a bigger ice surface on top of that, it complicates the issue. Big ice, more skating, no TV timeouts, less time to rest. That's why the teams are trying to play 4 lines as much as possible to get the proper rest for the players to be rested for the next shift.
Gary Suter took the handoff from Chris Chilios. No score. Under 6.5 minutes remaining now on the playoff side as the long flip was intended for Tony Amonte. Off the draw, Al McInnes drove the puck in. There's Gary Suter taking a whack from Joe Sakic. The puck moved forward, and there's a penalty coming up, perhaps for that slash by Sakic. Play offside, and that is the call. Joe Sakic going off for slashing, so the Canadians will be shorthanded for the second time.
This is strange. You see Gretzky take a minor, you see Sakic take a minor. That just doesn't happen very often. So Team USA gets their second power play. They had one good scoring chance on the first one. That was an in-tight backhand play by John Leclerc that Patrick Roy made the save on. And there you can see the slash. Who used the stick of Sakic across the left knee of Gary Suter. So Suter draws the power play for his team. See how Sakic battled to get around Modano, then he comes down hard with his stick. Modano had picked Sakic off. Team USA with their second power play.
They had one shot on goal during the first man advantage.
The difference here is Brett Hull's going to start this one, and if he gets open on this big ice surface on the power play, he loves to shoot and shoot quick.
And he has one of the best shots in the history of the game. Doug Weight banked into the zone. He got taken down in another penalty here.
Zomner will go. He just reached out and grabbed a hold of Brett Hull and threw him to the ice. And we have seen 5-on-3s in this tournament almost become automatic goals. Of course, not many are against Patrick Roy, the goaltender, but you'll see Weight dart through the middle, and he got grabbed by Zamner's left hand. Ray Bourque played him pretty well, but Zamner let go of his stick with one hand and pulled Weight down. Look at the left arm of Zamner. Boom. Down goes Doug Weight, who kept on working, and all of a sudden it's a 5-on-3, and this is a 1 minute 40-second 5-on-3. Brett Hull wants to shoot now. I'll guarantee you that.
Zamner off for holding, 14-16. The first 2 Team USA goals against Belarus in their second game of this tournament were scored on 5-on-3 power plays.
Both of those for too many men on the ice, so they were awarded to Team USA by bad plays of the Belarus. Now here, Yzerman and Weight. Yzerman has been good on draws. Now Team USA goes to work.
Big face-off won by Weight. Chelios and Leach the point man. Chelios a drive, the save by Roy. Now Hull from the slot, knocked down by Roy. Chelios has scored the first goal in each of the first 2 games for the Americans. Hull's shot deflected out in front. Leclaire was knocked down in front of the net. Canada gets the first man back in a minute 20. The shot whistled wide by Hull. It's a shooting gallery now.
That's Brett Hull's shooting gallery.
Leach with Leclaire screening. Leach to Hull. He hit the goal post. Chelios to Hull again. Leach. Hull lets it rip wide.
They're all too high, Sean. All the shots are too high.
Leach. Hull. Pressured by Blake. Leach kept the bouncing puck in. The first man back in 50 seconds. Chelios off the glove of Waugh. That shot appeared to be heading wide in any event. Chelios. Leach. Now Hull moves to the near circle. Hull screens for Chelios. Wait. Leach. A lot of room. Leach a shot. Blocked by Waugh. And cleared by Blake.
And Canada will change. Team USA does not change anybody.
Wait back into the zone. The first man back in 25 seconds. Wait along the near boards. Wait. Leach a drive. Save Waugh. Wait to Chelios. Chelios is pass blocked and cleared by Trevor Linden.
Patrick Waugh. That's world-class goaltending. Patrick Waugh, sensational. 5 saves he's made, plus a goal post, plus a couple of shots wide.
The first man out. Sakic out of the box. Suter. Now a 5-on-4 power play. That has just 13 seconds remaining. This could be a big lift for the Canadians if they kill it off. Hatcher had his shot blocked. Madano's follow-up over the net. 5 seconds and Zander back. In the corner, Pronger. Madano blocked it in the corner. Madano out in front. Suter wristed one wide, and the Canadians are back at full strength. Zander just out of the box for Joe Sakic. Sakic with Zander 2-on-3. The trailer is Gretzky. Down low, goal! Rob Zander.
Oh, do you believe that? The goaltending and penalty killing for Team Canada. Sensational. Patrick Waugh with 5 saves. And then all of a sudden it's a 3-on-2. The team's changing. Gretzky gets on the ice. And does he make a play? The shot here by Suter goes wide. Zander, who just stepped out of the penalty box, goes to work. Here goes Team Canada against a tired power play unit. There's Gretzky coming off the bench. Watch the pass that he makes right here to Zander. Empty netter. Mike Richter, no chance. What a swing of momentum. 5-on-3 for Team USA. They did everything but score. And it expires. And Gretzky makes the great pass. And it's 1-0 Canada.
Zander from Gretzky and Sakic at 16:30. First goal of the Olympics for Zander. The selection of Zander to the team widely criticized around Canada. Many asked, how could you leave Mark Messier off the team and take Rob Zander? Well, his play in the first 3 games has started to answer that question.
Yeah, he took a bad penalty here to put his team down 2 men, but he redeemed himself coming out of the box. Sakic with a great pass. Gretzky faked a shot that froze Richter. Richter had to move out because he thought Gretzky was going to take the big slap shot. Instead, Gretzky changed gears with his stick on the way down to the puck. Stopped almost at the puck, made an isolated pass across to Zander, and it's 1-0 Canada. What a couple of minutes of action that was.
You see it all the time, JD. A 2-man penalty kill can be a great lift to a hockey team.
You know, we haven't seen the 2-man power plays not work much here in this tournament. There's been a lot of them. But when Patrick Waugh, I mean, that was sensational. Brett Hull's shots to me were too high. Yep. He did hit the goalpost once. Waugh made 5 saves, a couple of shots blocked. One shot hit John Leclaire, who was standing in front. And Canada just seemed to build on it. Here's Brian Leach, head up, looking where he wants to shoot it and lets it go. Waugh takes away the low portion of the net all the time. He's down, makes another save. Leclaire was waiting for the rebound. Now remember, players away from the goaltender can be in the crease in this particular tournament, different than the NHL.
Credit some of those penalty killers when they had 3 men out there. Adam Foote, Chris Pronger, Trevor Linden. Here's Jeremy Roenick. Back for Team USA. Dumped it for Deadmarsh. Poked to the near boards by Scott Stevens. Here's Rod Brindamore. Forced to stop just inside the line by Chelios. Sent in deeper for Corson. He's wrapped up by Suter. 2:40 left in the period. 1-0 Canada on a goal by Rob Zander. Al McInnes. And now Scott Stevens. He drove it into the zone, and the play whistled down for an offside call.
You wonder if that was the defining moment in this game. You always look in a hockey game for moments that change the game. I know it's only the first period. There's plenty of time ahead, but I mean, this was bigger than most sequences. A two-man advantage for 1:40 seconds, and Patrick Waugh just really got the job done for his team. And then Gretzky's fine pass to Zamner, who'd come out of the penalty box. Team USA's power play looked good. They moved the puck all over the place. Hull was in a shooting position, but they couldn't beat the goaltender.
They did everything they could except score, and as you said, part of that's Patrick Waugh, part of his shots not being on net. Joe Nieuwendyk and Pat LaFontaine on the face-off. Zamner back out for the Canadians. Nieuwendyk centering Zamner and Fleury. Rob Zamner, the goal scorer. Both parents immigrated to Canada in 1968. Zamner's dad, Frank, from Italy. His mom, Leah, from Austria. They met at a restaurant, Oakville, Ontario, and taught their son, Rob Zamner, that for them, Canada was the land of opportunity. McInnes tried to move it up the board. He was triple teamed by the American forwards, but Zamner is able to pass it off to Nieuwendyk. Otto fell down. It's a 4-on-3 break across the line. Nieuwendyk shot, gloved by Richter. Mike bobbled it. Nieuwendyk continued toward the goal, and now tempers flare. Fleury gave LaFontaine a couple of brushes to the face. The cooler heads prevail quickly. No player in this game wants to get the big penalty that could really hurt his team. Don't miss a single second of Olympic action. CBS Sportsline brings you up to the minute. All the coverage you need from Nagano. Get real-time scores, video, and much more. Visit cbs.sportsline.com.
Brett Hull on the ice. He had all those shots on the power play. You know, when his team gets a power play, he'll go to the bench and change sticks and get a different stick, one that's specific for the power play, maybe a little more curve in the blade. And once the power play was over and his team didn't score, he went back to the bench and changed sticks to get his regular shift stick. So he has one for the power play and one for regular even strength play.
Face-off controlled by Sakic. Adam Foote. His shot knocked down by Richter.
Canada has scored 3 goals in the tournament off face-off wins in the other team's zone.
Red Hull used Pronger as a screen. Waugh had to flash out the right leg. Picking down to 1.5 minutes left in the first period. USA trailing 1-0. Rob Zamner, the only goal of the game. Right after the Canadians had killed off a 5-on-3 power play for Team USA. Adam Foote. His goal in the deciding game of the World Cup of Hockey got lost. He gave Canada the lead with about 7 minutes to go in the third period, 2-1. His players on his bench were calling him Paul Henderson after another Canada hero of international competition. Nice save by Waugh, the drive by Amonte.
USA's defense has been good, and they're countering. That was a good shot by Tony Amonte, and Patrick Waugh, he's been better than just good here in the first period. That was a labeled shot by Amonte, and Waugh kicked it out.
Now Scott Stevens up the middle, touched into the zone by Yzerman.
Again, USA playing the trap in the neutral zone on this big ice surface. Canada had even strength here. The flow offensively, they haven't gotten it going.
Shanahan puts it to the top of the crease, gloved there by Richter with 27 seconds left in the period.
Patrick Waugh has good feet. He loves to go down to his knees, spread his heels out, and you'll see Tony Amonte here, the left-handed shot on the right side, used Scott Stevens as a screen, and that went off the lower portion of the pad, almost at the toe of his goal pad. Great shot, great save. Just two guys doing their thing. Patrick Waugh as a kid almost quit. His goals against average was real high, and his mother's the one that talked him into coming back and playing hockey. Daniel Bouchard, who was a solid goaltender in Atlanta and also up with the Quebec Nordiques, was the idol of Patrick, and at one time he gave Patrick a goal stick. Patrick went home and slept with it. That's how much he loved hockey, and sure enough, he's become Canada's #1 goaltender.
And anointed the #1 goalie throughout this tournament before the competition started by Coach Crawford. Guerin in deep, passed up a chance for a good shot, and it was an errant pass. Now Lindros working on Suter. Suter holds him off. The puck slides into Richter, and Lindros went waving his stick in the direction of Richter, and Chelios didn't like that.
A lot of scrums now as this game moves along. Scrums after the whistles. Nice save by Richter, but a better play by Gary Suter. Suter's brother was a player with the 1980 team, Miracle on Ice. Brother Bob that won the gold medal. Gary said he's looked at the medal, but he's never worn it. And on this play, Gary Suter does a nice job against the bigger Eric Lindros, and he had to put his body in front of Lindros and did that. You'll see Lindros move down the ice, get the puck. Now watch Suter move across. He's a left defenseman. He's moved over to the other side and stays body on body. Look at that, body on body, and you can see Big Eric couldn't get through Suter to get the puck to have the clean shot on Mike Richter. That's good, solid defensive play. Chelios went to the bench with Lindros' stick and threw it in behind the bench, and there Lindros has gone over to the bench and gotten it back. Chris Chelios, he grabbed it, he skated over, and he took the stick and dropped it in. Look, he's got two in his hands. He's got two of them. He's going to take one. The Bauer belongs to Lindros, and he threw it in behind. So Lindros went over there and tried to fish it back with the help of the referee. Got it.
Apparently he didn't like the fact that Lindros whacked at the puck as it was at the knees of Richter.
There's Lindros. He has 3 more on the bench, 4 of them ready for the game. It doesn't much matter to Chris Chelios the way he competes. He'll do anything he has to win. I guess that includes taking the stick away from Lindros.
Nieuwendyk to take the face-off with Roenick. Lindros lined up right in front of the net in the slot. Draw one back to the line. Now McInnes shot it wide. 3 seconds left in the period. Lindros put it right on net, and Richter had to make a testing save just as the first period came to an end.
I think it was a great period. And then one big sequence was the 5-on-3 Team USA had. Canada killed it off with Patrick Roy. Were able to come back and score an even strength goal right after. And Canada was also, I think, for the U.S. too good on faceoffs. They had the majority of the faceoff wins, which leads to puck possession. You need to win at least 50% of the draws.
End of the first period, the score Canada 1 and USA nothing. Michelle Tapoya will be along from our late night studio with highlights of the Dream Hockey Tournament and an interview with Cami Granado and Vicky Mosession of the USA women's hockey team after this message and a word from your local station.
Except for the one goal, and that was a great play by Gretzky.
Leach tried to check Lindros, and Lindros just bulled his way through. Puck round back with Team USA, and here's Leach. Jeremy Roenick, and now Brian Leach sends it in wide of Waugh. Patrick speared it into the corner. Roenick, Guerin, and Dedmark. The line for Team USA. Lindros with Brindamore and Thornton at the moment for Team Canada. Here's Guerin. Across his own line, a hit for Dedmarsh, and the play offside. Adam Dedmarsh was actually born in British Columbia, but has dual citizenship and is playing for Team USA as he has since he was a teenager. When he first started playing international hockey, the USA national team showed more interest in him than did the Canadian team, so he started in the American program and has remained in the program. His mom is a native of Washington State.
Ronnie Wilson and his club. Lots of support from people across the United States. They've had faxes. In fact, hanging up on the wall is one from Vice President Al Gore and Mike Ruzioni, who scored the big goal in 1980 for Team USA. He sent one for support for his hockey club.
Along the near board, Hall and Gretzky battling. Check thrown by John LeClair on Rob Blake. More than a minute played, second period. USA trailing 1-0. LeClair takes a shove from Blake. LeClair has Brett Hull for a one-timer right on, and Waugh made another big stop.
Right, there's great strength by the winger LeClair. He's very hard to knock off the puck. And when he saw Brett Hull just standing there at the top of the circle, now you have to remember Brett Hull's a right winger, but he's a right-handed shot, so he can face the passer when he moves across the ice, and then he can shoot it right off the pass. And so far, with the Hull-Patrick Waugh battle, it's all Patrick Waugh. He robs him again. Patrick Waugh moves across, reads the play. Beautiful shot by Brett Hull. My goodness, did he step into that. And Waugh moves across. Look at the hole between the legs and watch it tighten up. Boom. And that's when the puck hit him. Great goaltending, great pass by LeClair, and a great shot by Brett Hull. Brett Hull, when he was growing up in Winnipeg, Canada, his dad was playing in the old World Hockey League, the WHA, and Brett would go there and practice with his father and the other players, and Brett at that time would work on a shot. He had a shot, his dad said, it was better than half of the players playing for the Winnipeg Jets at the time, but that time he was stopped by Patrick Waugh.
He and his dad, the great Bobby Hull, have had kind of an up-and-down relationship over the years. His parents divorced when he was a young boy. There were stretches of time when he wasn't particularly close to his father. They have a cordial relationship now, if somewhat distant. More than a minute and a half played in the second period. It's 1-0 for Canada. Here comes Joe Sakic, who assisted on the goal. And in the corner, Keith Primo put a hit on Matthew Schneider, but now there are two Canadians trapped behind the play as Modano carries. Modano across the line. His wrist shot deflected wide by Adam Foote. Foote, a defensive defenseman, has played very solidly in the first 3 games. Modano couldn't handle the pass up high. Now Matthew Schneider back into his own zone. Schneider now a member of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Kevin Hatcher, Tony Amati, off for Mike Modano. Modano out in front, intercepted by Scott Stevens. 17:45 remaining, second period. Team USA trails 1-0. Rob Zaminer, the goal for Team Canada in the first period. Leach wrapped up by Fleury. Now Darian Hatcher behind his own net.
Both teams playing the trap. Now here's Team USA with a set breakout. They have to get through the neutral zone with the puck. It doesn't work there. Now there's icing against their club. So both these teams playing a similar style in the neutral zone. Joe Sakic. Oh, referee gets in the road. Primo with a big hit.
Each team allowed to dress 20 skaters and 2 goaltenders, and each of these 2 teams has brought 3 goalies over here. So the third goaltenders are in the stands. On the left, Curtis Joseph, and on the right, D.A. Bear of the United States. And they're having a friendly chat. And right across the aisle from each other. Long pass, and that's onside. Pat LaFontaine now waiting for help. Has help from Joel Otto. He centered one. Yzerman got a stick on it. Langenbrunner took it away, and now LaFontaine. With Darian Hatcher in the corner for Langenbrunner. Out in front, Otto. Down low, LaFontaine put a shot right on, and Waugh again squeezed the legs together.
Pat LaFontaine having a good shift. You know, this was a set face-off for Team USA. LaFontaine's way over there. And now when his team wins the puck, he's going to vacate the zone. And you can see how the puck is fired up the middle, and there he is. This allows Team USA to get out of their zone into the other zone real quick, and therefore get some offense. And here's LaFontaine staying wide, and it's 1-on-1, but with a rolling puck. Waugh made the save. Another rolling puck. I was talking to Brian Lewis. He's one of the NHL officials, telling me about the pucks. He said he went and checked the temperature of the pucks. He said the pucks are frozen with the exact same temperature in the locker, the freezer, that the ice is here. And they're kept in this box on ice, and they try to keep them the same temperature that when they come out of the box and put into play, same temperature the puck is, same temperature the ice is, to try and get some consistency. So they're really working at trying to keep the puck away from jumping around.
17 minutes remaining in the second period. Canada has a 1-0 lead on a goal by Rob Zaminer. Ray Bourque ahead to Shane Corson. Now Rod Brindamore sweeps it in, and Lindros goes in behind the net after Richter. Richter played it around to Bill Guerin, now a member of the Edmonton Oilers after a trade during this NHL season from New Jersey. Chelios bounced one wide. Adam Denmark kicked it in behind the net for Roenick. Roenick picked it away from Raymond Bourque, but right to Eric Lindros. And here's a 3-on-3 to the neutral zone. Shane Corson, his drive sailed over the head of Richter. And it's Lindros at center ice. Turned it over to Roenick, who gave it right back to Lindros. Lindros power his way to the net. Took a shove behind the cage from Chelios. Roenick went down. Adam Denmark stunts the Americans the other way. Suter had trouble with the puck, but got it to Guerin. Guerin with Denmark heading for the net. Trying to throw it in front, and Adam Foote blocked the pass. There in Fleury, ahead for Joe Nieuwendyk. Nieuwendyk has Zaminer just on the ice, and he was stopped from the bottom of the circle by Richter.
Zaminer was wide open because he just stepped off the bench.
Shot from the point from Pronger was blocked out in front. And it's cleared out of the zone by Adam Deadmarsh. 15:40 remaining. Second period, 1-0 Canada. Here's Zaminer, who has the only goal of the game. Centering pass too far ahead of Nieuwendyk. And Doug Waite hits a sand wedge out to center ice. Gloved ahead by Stevens, touched by his teammate Fleury, and a hand pass call.
You know, you have these long benches here in the Olympics, and sometimes players jump off the bench at the other end of the bench. And here comes Zaminer right at the blue line, and Team USA didn't see him. So he stays wide. Sure enough, Nieuwendyk finds him. And Mike Richter made 2 jumps across to his right and was able to kick the puck away with his right leg. Good movement by Richter, who has very good balance. Watch Lindros flip the puck up to get away from the defender's stick. Look at that. Up. Actually tries to get it by 2 sticks, knocks it down, and wants it back. But Chris Chelios had to play Lindros, and that's been a pretty good matchup here. Chelios, strong physical defenseman, and Lindros, one of the world's better power forwards.
Joe Sakic, Doug Waite on the faceoff. USA has had more scoring chances, where the Canadians have capitalized on one of their 3 scoring opportunities in the first period. A goal by Rob Zammiter, set up beautifully by Joe Sakic and Wayne Gretzky. Now John LeClair, second in the NHL in goals at the Olympic break with 38, trailing only Teemu Selanne. And a bouncing puck right out into the crease as it was thrown on goal by Doug Waite. Waugh had to be quick again. He has been as sharp as he can be here in the first period, plus 5 minutes. Brett Hull has LeClair trying to find a seam, but the Canadians identified LeClair. Now Hull shoved off the puck, and Stevens sends it around to Mark Recchi. He was a late addition to the Canadian roster. He dumps it off for Sakic. Rebound, Primo off the side of the net. Richter came sprawling across and might have knocked it down just before the side, but it wasn't going to be on net.
3-on-2 for Canada. U.S. got caught changing players at the bench.
And the United States has had a number of bad changes over the first 2 games plus in this tournament. Kachuk went in behind the net. Threw a big hit on Ray Bourque. Bourque, the oldest player on Team Canada at age 37. Now Yzerman scales it into the far corner. Shanahan, bothered by Darian Hatcher, sent behind the net and centered. And Shanahan shot it wide off the feed from Yzerman. Gretzky, Yzerman, and Shanahan this line for Team Canada. Nagano played through Shanahan and is forced back by Gretzky, and Gretzky heads off. 13 minutes, 45 seconds left in the second period. 1-0 in favor of Canada. Bouncing puck for Brian Leach. Fleury, the forechecker. Tony Amonte. His career really took off after that World Cup winning goal in 1996. He's had his best NHL season since. Amonte with a rolling puck. Shovels it in deep for Langenbrunner, and the Americans change. Foot takes down Langenbrunner. Centering pass by Otto Fried. Puck right on net by LaFontaine. And skated away by Pronger. Now a 3-on-3. Linden back to Pronger, defenseman, helping lead the rush, and he got jarred by Chelios, who fell down but passed to Suter. Now back into the corner to Chelios, and Suter took it. Now Chelios upended, and the shot wide from Fleury.
And the heading is just spectacular. The grit these 2 teams are showing.
You can see they want to play the body, but at the same time they don't want to take penalties. Lindros shot it wide. Cook hustled to keep it in, but it's skated right back out by LaFontaine. Pat tried to make a move. Linden couldn't find it at his feet. Now along the far boards, Trevor Linden. 12:40 remaining in the period. The Lindros. And he slides it in. Corson first. He runs into Suter. They both go down. LaFontaine around for Denmark. He takes a hit from Brindamore. And that goes the length of the ice, an icing call against Team USA. Patrick Waugh, the story here in the first period and a half. Once again, Jeremy Roenick matched up with Eric Lindros.
Always keep in mind, Canada has 3 goals off of face-offs in this tournament. Again, Team USA keeping their winger wide.
The draw one to Brindamore. Testing shot after Lindros won the face-off, and Richter flashed out the pass.
They're just so good on face-offs, especially Eric Lindros. One of the best.
Matthew Schneider couldn't contain Corson in the corner. Desjardins blocked by a sprawling Denmark. Now a centering pass by Desjardins, picked off by Roenick. And Lindros brought it back in from outside the blue line. With a teammate still in the zone, the play is whistled down for an offside.
Denmark appears to be okay after getting bumped in the first period and a possible nose fracture. Again, Canada has set plays on face-offs, as do most teams. You can see Team USA keeping a player wide in case of, but here's a clean win, and Brindamore with the shot. And Richter stayed, you know, he kept his balance and moved right out above the goal crease, made a good save. Now here's Denmark's blocking the shot. Remember, he's already gotten 1 injury in the game. He went down front body first, where you have the majority of your protection, and made a nice save. It was like they've taken the big bandage away and gotten a little butterfly on the facial cut to try and close it.
Deadmarsh just 22 years old. He was the youngest player for the Avalanche in '96 when Colorado won the Stanley Cup. Joe Sakic the takeaway. He feeds Mark Recchi. Recchi centering for Primo. Broken up in a nice play by Garrett. A 3-on-2 for the United States. Roenick dumped it back, and the shot wide from Deadmarsh. Had to get that one on net with Guerin charging for a rebound. Now Sakic out in front. Primo couldn't handle it. Guerin hustling all the way on the back check. Now Sakic back to the line. Blake gloved by Richter, and Mike hangs on. 11:23 remaining in the second. Still 1-0 Canada. Face-off was to Richter's left. It was drawn back by Kieran Fleury, but he flipped the defense and it wound up in the Canada zone. Now John LeClair sandwiched between Pronger and Nieuwendyk, and he lost the puck. Canada was better than a 2-to-1 edge in face-off. 24-11. Doug Weight out in front, a little bit too hard through the legs of LeClair. Up from the point, Suter behind the net. Hull walked out in front and lost the puck as he got to the goal mouth. Under 11 minutes remaining in the period. LeClair, one of the strongest American players, grabbed by Nieuwendyk. He moves away from Joe and feeds Doug Weight behind the net. Weight using that 2 feet of extra room behind the net in international hockey. Chilio sends it back in. Nieuwendyk looking to clear, and he does. Canada scrambling at its own end. Nieuwendyk content to take the icing. 10:28 remaining. Second period. Yzerman and Nagano, the face-off, a rare win for the Americans on the draw, and it was sent toward the net by Kevin Hatchett. Blocked by Waugh. Monty, a turnaround drive, knocked down by McKinnon. And Monty kept it in right along the blue line. Steve Yzerman, longtime captain of the Red Wings, didn't get it out. Here's a one-timer by Nagano off the feed from Tkachuk, and the save was made by Waugh. At the line, Kevin Hatchett. And in behind the cage. Nagano right out in front, a couple of whacks by Tkachuk. And then a Monty fan on a free puck in the slot.
Oh, this goaltending spectacular. 2 good shifts in a row now for Team USA on the forecheck. Getting offense by recovering the puck and setting it up in front. Just great goaltending.
Nagano stole a bad pass by McKinnon behind the net. Threw it blindly out in front. Nobody there in the red, white, and blue. Richter out the cage. More than midway through the hockey game now. 9.5 minutes remaining in the second. Canadians have a 1-0 lead on a goal by Rob Zimmerman in the first period. Up to the line, sent in deeper, but now a late whistle for the offside call.
You're looking at the story. First big international tournament in the 13-year career for Patrick Waugh. There's a save off of Mike Modano that went off his left shoulder. Again, Modano circles around, gets into a shooting position, quick shot, and Patrick Waugh just short, concise movements in goal. He plays his angle so well, moves across. Big save off the shoulder. He
wasn't selected for the World Cup of Hockey team in 1996, left off the team by Glenn Sather. And Patrick, after that devastating loss for Canada, said it's good that Canada lost because now they have to pick the best team and not the general manager's favorites when we go to the Olympics.
General manager was Glenn Sather. Patrick didn't really want to play for Team Canada in a lot of the international hockey because his younger brother had been picked and played on a team that represented Canada. And then when it came to time for a tournament, his brother got released when they brought in some NHL players, and he was mad at him. But this is the Olympics. It's a whole different story. And right now, I think the country of Canada is happy he's there. He has been busy, and he has been great as Team USA has carried the play.
And a steal of an errant pass by Otto. LaFontaine taken off the puck by Bourque, and Blake banks it back out to the American line. Darian Hatcher across to Brian Leach. Leach played on the 1988 Olympic team. Lindros sends it in behind the net. Leach is 19 years old when he first appeared in the Olympics. Thought, like so many players who went on to professional hockey from the Olympics, that he would never have a chance to play in the Olympics again. Langenbrunner back for Leach. Leach out in front, and it's deflected on the net. Blocked out in front. Couple of whacks at it, and Waugh's holding his ground. Pat LaFontaine was pounding away from the side of the goal crease.
Team USA winning a lot of the loose puck battles right now.
Here's Gretzky weaving through center. Gretzky winds up, and Richter might have gotten a piece of it with the end of the glove. Went wide. Here's a chance for Guerin. Guerin forced back by Stevens. Guerin across the line with Denmark. Guerin dumped it back instead, looking for Suter. Dangerous pass. Lindros got against him. Now Jeremy Roenick, the Phoenix Coyotes. Drops it back, Suter. His drive blocked by Primo. Chilios through a screen, never reached the net. Recchi blocked it, batted out of the air by Guerin. Into the near corner for Roenick. Team USA starting to apply pressure now with regularity. Still trailing 1-0. Guerin, his shot blocked. Roenick shot it wide, right off the backboard to the side of the crease. Scott Stevens up the boards. And it's Primo looking to counterattack with Recchi. Mark Recchi into the zone, out in front. Septic, a backhander that went right through Richter and wide. Primo lost the stick, but kicked it in deeper. 7:20 remaining, second period. Canada 1. Team USA nothing. Doug Waite tipped that into the corner. Al McGinnis with LeClaire into forecheck. McGinnis drove it around the near boards. Schneider racing after it. And icing is the call. Great pressure by Team USA, but Patrick Waugh has stopped everything, and the Canadians take advantage of a counterattack.
Billy Guerin even tried to knock one out of midair on Patrick Waugh. Waugh stopped that one too.
In live action, Waite won the face-off back, but now the net has come loose. And Bill McCreary places it back on the moorings.
Going into this game, we thought that Mike Richter would have to be the best player. Patrick Waugh has had to be the best player. Darren Pang.
Senators Kevin Wagner holds on to the stopwatch here for Team Canada. The shifts, JD, 30 to 35 seconds. You go any longer than that, when you get back to the bench, it's a heated argument. They're really disciplined in that respect.
Darren, you know, Theo Fleury was mentioning he had one long shift in one of the other games. He got back to the bench and he heard it from his coaching staff. Sean, this is 3 games in 4 days for these two teams. If you overstay your shift, when you come back for your next shift, you don't have the energy. It takes you 2 or 3 shifts to recover, so you're wasting what should be high energy shifts, and in turn you're hurting your own team. So I think both teams are being very strict with the length of the shifts. 30 seconds out there hard, and think about getting back to the bench to get a fresh group. And remember, both teams trying to rotate 4 lines. Lots of players playing here.
Doug Waite on the face-off. He sent it toward the net as he took the draw with Joe Nieuwendyk. 6:50 remaining, second period. John LeClaire trying to power in, forced behind the net by Pronger. LeClaire stops in the circle, shoots, Waugh the save, rebound free, Hull from his knees, Waite stopped by Waugh. And a penalty coming up here.
Team USA is winning the battle down low, and they did it again. And this time there's a penalty as Zamner goes for his second one. Brett Hull was in front. He was dragged down to the ice. And Team USA has earned this power play. They have Sean worked here for shift after shift after shift, getting offense. And Patrick Waugh stopped everything. Now you can see Team USA sending 2 men to the front. And one of them is Brett Hull with Zamner. Watch Zamner pull him down. Loose puck in front. Zamner just tackles Brett Hull, who tried to get to the loose puck. Waugh stopping everything. And now the U.S. club will get another chance on the power play. Good save by Waugh. And you'll see a second shot here, not by Hull, as the penalty's taken. Right there is a shot by Doug Waite that Waugh makes a save on. Zamner with a tackle in front. There's a rebound. That tackle stops Brett Hull from getting the shot. And then all of a sudden, here comes Doug Waite. And Waite shoots it, and Waugh stopped that.
So it's Zamner for holding at 13:25. And the Americans are on the power play. 0 for 2. They peppered Waugh during the 5-on-3 advantage. Yzerman trying to drag it through Kevin Hatcher. Primo scores! Short-handed goal for Keith Primo.
Mike Richter not happy here. He wants something looked at. Lou Lamoriello, the general manager of Team USA, looks on. They want something. It's a play that's a shorthanded goal as Primo followed up the play, powered through 2 different U.S. players to get there. The goal will be allowed. It's 2-0 Canada. Leach tried to keep the puck in at the blue line. It's fired around. Leach reads the play. The puck goes off him. Now watch Primo right there. He follows the play up. Leach and Madano get to him. But look at how he got up. Primo did, was able to score the goal. Primo didn't quit on the play all the way down the ice. He was hauled down, got up, and you see the puck go through. Richter. Yeah, the play that Team USA was talking about was Yzerman running into Richter. Richter couldn't make the save. Hey, that should have been a penalty.
Certainly should have. That's what the Americans were protesting, and they showed the replay that you just saw on the big screen here, and that had Ron Wilson in an open doorway hollering out at Bill McCreary.
Well, they had a valid point as we have face-off penalties coming up to the two centermen right now. And looking at the play, when Yzerman was off balance, he put his stick up. He ran into Mike Richter. Bill McCreary did not make the call. Primo followed up and scored a sweeping wrist shot for a shorthanded goal, and another big goal for Canada.
And matching penalties to Steve Yzerman and Doug Weight.
Doug Weight and Steve Yzerman as the puck's dropped. You see them get their sticks up. Bill McCreary makes the call. They both sit.
Ron Wilson still upset, and he should be. You're not allowed to do what Yzerman did to the goalie. And that resulted in a goal. That has to be called every time. And he's still chewing the ear of Bill McCreary. Primo the goal from Yzerman at 13:37. And the Canadians have a 2-0 lead.
So for Team Canada, their penalty killing's been a story. They get the shorthanded goal here and make it 2-0. And their previous goal was right after they had killed off a 5-on-3 against. It was back to even strength, but immediately after is when the goal was scored by Rob Zaminer to give Canada a 1-0 lead. So their penalty killing, along with Patrick Waugh, has been the story for Canada. For Team USA, they haven't gotten a break. They've been great offensively. They've been good with their forecheck. They've hardly given up any scoring chances.
Gary Suter had the puck taken away by Trevor Linden in the corner, and he shoots at the length of the ice. The Americans still on a 5-on-4 power play for another minute and 25 seconds. That's the time left to serve for Rob Zaminer. In this case, with one team already shorthanded, the matching minors do not reduce the teams on ice any further. They leave it at 5-on-4. Red Hall jousting with Blake. Hall won it back to Suter. Hall and Blake again. Blake this time around to Suter.
Ray Bork just flattened LaFontaine in front.
One-timer Suter deflected wide by Corson. Chris Chilios up deep. And the puck shot the length of the ice by Ray Bork. Bork 5 times the winner of the Norris Trophy to the best defenseman in the National Hockey League during his 18 seasons with the Boston Bruins. Canada 2 and the United States nothing. Moving toward the final minutes of the second period. First time we called Brian Berard's name today as he carried the puck into zone for Team USA. Berard, youngest player on the American team with age 20. Now Madano. Kachuk. Leach. Leach wristed it, and Primo blocked it, and then he leveled Leach as Brian went after the corner. And there's another shorthand bid. 2-on-1. Fleury with the defenseman foot. Fleury to the backhand. Threw it out in front. Nobody there in the red of Canada. And Kachuk couldn't handle the long pass, and as a result, that'll be an icing call. And the penalty to Zaminer has expired. And Canada is back at full strength.
I think block shots by the Canada's team is what's helped them. And then watch Primo provide a pick right there, knocking down Brian Leach as Leach went to get to the puck. And Primo then made the play off ice that led to the 2-on-1. Fleury goes wide and wanted to pop the puck back in and around the goalpost and couldn't do it. His momentum shoved him wide. 2-on-1. You can see the defender took away the pass. That was Brian Berard. Primo made the play. Sean back at the other end of the ice. He knocked Leach down and then fired the puck up ice to 2-on-1. Primo was in for the shorthanded goal. So Primo with a very strong shift. He plays for the Carolina Hurricanes of the NHL.
He's 26 years old in his 8th NHL season. Played with Detroit. There was a lot of pressure on him when he came to Detroit. He was a top 5 pick. The folks in Hockeytown thought he was going to be like Eric Lindros, a combination of size and speed and skill, but he never quite made it to that level. And a lot of times when Detroit had failure after failure in the Stanley Cup playoffs, the blame, a lot of it was put on Primo.
He's a big gangly kid at the time, and he's matured now into a terrific player. You can see on this big ice. Last year in the World Championships, he went and played for Team Canada and played real well. That earned him a spot here in this Olympics. There seems to be some kind of a discussion going on with
the
Bill
Americans
McCreary.
were complaining that the penalty time was allowed to run off, and they feel there should be 3 seconds left on the penalty time. The penalty was taken at 13:52, 13:42 rather. I checked that, 13:25. The matching penalty was 13:42. So it's now 15:28. Given that, the penalty should have expired, but we know you can read what that gentleman had on the sheet.
That looks like my writing, but I can't understand it.
And that might be part of the problem for Bill McCreary too.
He's still trying to get it. He's giving hand signals. He's trying to figure out exactly what's going up.
Well, Zametter's penalty, if that is what they were talking about, was taken at 13:25. It's now 15:28 of the period, 2 minutes and 3 seconds later. So the penalty time should be up.
But maybe Zameter jumped out early if they had a miscalculation at the timekeeper's box. So Bill McCreary even has the helmet off now as he's trying to figure this thing out. You know, the other player we were talking about, you talked about Patrick Waugh, and now he gets a chance to play in the Olympics. Steve Yzerman too. He failed to make the last 2 Canada Cup teams. He was one of the last cuts in '91, and he's now been able to play in the Olympics. Team USA, it's basically the same team that played in the World Cup with a couple of additions. Jeremy Roenick being one of them. I think Team USA's played great here, but they're down 2-0 as Canada's taken advantage of a couple of situations. And for Team USA, they won the World Cup, Sean, in Montreal in Game 3. Mike Richter was sensational, and their goaltender is what helped them win the thing. Here, they played very well, but they're looking and seeing a goaltender at the other end do what had happened to them before. And Patrick Waugh has just been absolutely super.
Well, apparently whatever the problem was, it has been addressed. Zameter has not been sent back to the box, nor should he be. 20 saves, several of them dandies by Patrick Waugh. And Canada has a 2-0 lead on goals by Rob Zameter, Keith Primo. The Primo goal we talked about for a long time when this one is over. Stevens to the line to play offside. For all your Olympic hockey information, CBS Sports Line has Olympic hockey coverage and results 24 hours a day, and it's all easier to read than some of what we were trying to decipher downstairs. That's cbs.sportsline.com. Roenick again matched up with Lindros. That's been the pairing since the opening faceoff. Canada is the home team, so the Canadians have the last line change. Gretzky up the boards for Inmanor. Tried to go off the boards to Lindros. There, picked it up along the near boards and kept it in the zone. Lindros played it off. Desjardins across for Scott Stevens. Rolling puck off the boards, and Richter made a save. Now Gretzky. Gretzky and Lindros out there at the same time for the Canadians, and Gretzky's centering pass wound up on the stick of Bill Guerin. Guerin bounces it in past Desjardins, and the forecheck is Deadmarsh with Roenick. Now Gretzky slides it along the near board. Suter first there. Lindros knocked it down with the glove. Lindros dumps it for Gretzky, but it did not click, and it's Bill Guerin backhanding it away to Deadmarsh. Ed Manning for Roenick, a little bit too far ahead. Wow, out of the net. 3.5 minutes left in the second period. Team USA trailing 2-0. They've had an edge in territorial play, and they've had a number of scoring chances. Chelios. Now Suter. Banked ahead for Otto. He got slammed by Blake. Here's a chance for Chelios. A deflected shot by Sakic. Behind the net. Otto using his size. Amonte trying to push it in front. Amonte knocks down Blake. Under 3 minutes left in the period. Otto around to a vacant corner. Chelios and Sakic, they collide. Sakic goes down. Chelios now double teamed with Shanahan in the mix in a faceoff. With 2:46 remaining in the second, and with Team USA trailing 2-0, and here they go.
More scrums as the players get together. The hitting has been very intense. For the most part, the sticks have been down, but it's been hard as the discipline level's been good. But boy, the temperature down there amongst the players has to be extremely high as Wade and Yzerman have both come out of the penalty box. Listen to some of the hitting.
Glad I'm up here. Canada slight edge in hits delivered. USA the edge in shots on goal 20-15, and in scoring chances 12-7 in favor of the USA.
Canada has not allowed a second period goal so far in the tournament. Under 3 minutes to go here in the second. I've been impressed with the Team USA forwards here in the second, getting the down low work, Sean, down low around Patrick Waugh. They've gotten to a lot of loose pucks. But when they get through and they start to take the shots, there's been a lot of shots blocked. And you mentioned the shots, but there's been a lot blocked too.
Puck won off the draw by the Americans with the pass back to the point. Split Schneider and Kevin Hatcher. Puck high in the air and down to Nagano. Side of the circle, pestered by the stick of Pronger. And Langenbrunner upended Neuendijk. Here's a chance for Nagano. Kachuk, Langenbrunner taken down. American bench wanted a call. There is none. Free puck. Nagano stopped by Waugh. Lifted to the glass by Pronger. Zamner takes the heat off the Canadians. Matthew Schneider took it down.
There's another shift. Team USA doing everything they possibly can, trying to draw penalties, trying to get offense, winning loose pucks.
Schneider's long pass to Kachuk was deflected. Keith managed to take it in the zone, and he moved away from Pronger. Kevin Hatcher down low to Nagano. Hatcher a one-timer blocked by Primo. Loose puck scooped up by Keith Primo. Now a 2-on-2. Sakic with Fleury. Off for Theron Fleury. His drive. Rebound and an easy goal for Sakic. So the Americans are dominating territorially, and the Canadians keep counterattacking with success.
This is Joe Sakic and lost coverage. Joe Sakic does a great job drawing two people to him and then dumping the puck off, and then everybody on Team USA just left him alone. Richter made a nice save, but he was able to easily score an open net rebound goal. Again, there you see the block shot by Primo. Primo's had a great game. He's had a great second period. 2-on-1. Now watch Sakic draw people to him. And then when he draws people to him, he's left alone. Both defensemen, Hatcher and Schneider, both go to Fleury. Sakic's left alone. It's just bad coverage in the U.S. zone. And Canada really taking advantage of the few scoring chances they've had.
Matthew Schneider has been part of a couple of notable breakdowns in this tournament on defense for the United States. Here's Lindros trying to work into the circle. He was held up by Doug Weight. Has to be very frustrating for the Americans with the edge in play territorially. More shots, better scoring chances, but Patrick Waugh has been magnificent. And Canada's had some great chances on counterattacking plays. 1 minute left in the period. This 3-0 lead looks huge given the way Waugh is playing. Lindros shot it right into the midsection of Richter. It actually deflected down underneath Mike's pad around the knee.
The other thing is Keith Primo, the Carolina Hurricanes, playing in Greensboro right now before they move to play in Raleigh. He has had a sensational period here. He's been involved on everything. He blocked the point shot that led to the breakout, but still it ended up a 2-on-2 there. And when you're 2-on-2, you've got to stay with a man. Team Canada's quickness in the offensive zone. Fleury with the shot. Sakic going to the net without the puck. Bang, empty net goal. But Canada really has taken advantage of their scoring chances. Eric Lindros, 230 pounds. Played hard here by Darian Hatcher, nose to nose.
That's just about a standoff size-wise. Hatcher is 6'5", 220. The shot from Bork came ripping off the backboard. The Americans would really use a goal here in the last minute of the period. Down 3-0 in the second. Roenick checked off the puck behind the net by Blake. Steve Yzerman. Now Blake ahead for Gretzky. Dump back for Yzerman. Yzerman. Gretzky. Yzerman again. 20 seconds left in the period. Shot from an angle from Gretzky was deflected over the net. Chance perhaps for one last rush for Team USA. 10 seconds left in the period. They have to regroup in the neutral zone. Chilio head to Guerin. Canada will take a 3-0 lead to the third period. Shots through 2 periods, 21-18 in favor of Team USA. But the man you saw a moment ago, Patrick Roy, has been the biggest story in this game. At the end of the second period, the score, Canada 3 and USA nothing. Michelle Tafoya will be along from our late night studio with the latest installment of Rock and Roll Highlights after this message from your local station. Start of the third period here at Big Hat. Sean McDonough with John Davidson and JD between periods. Darren Pang chatted with Brett Hull. Brett Hull told him that the Americans wanted at the very least to take something positive out of this game, and he feels that they're beginning that process because they really have played pretty well despite the score.
Yeah, they're down 3-0. This is their third game. I think this is the best game they've played by far. They're down 3-0, yes, but I think they've outplayed Canada in many stretches of the game. Canada's been a better team as far as the opportunities going their way, and thinking about offense, you know, with a shorthanded goal. But still, you know, this is a tournament where you want to build on and get ready for your next round. I think this guy's been the best Canadian player aside from Patrick Roy, and that's Keith Primo.
Slight edge for Team USA in shots. Canada dominating in face-offs. The Americans have had more scoring chances, but the 3 goals by Zamminer, Primo, and Sakic for Team Canada.
See, the shots 21-18, but if you took and looked at shots attempted, Team USA's attempted many more so than has Team Canada. So yeah, I think Team Canada's done well with some of their players. Patrick Roy in particular, Keith Primo, Rob Blake's had a strong game, but Team USA's played the best game of their tournament, even though they're down by 3.
Well, now it seems almost impossible for Team USA to be the #1 team in this pool. They had to win by at least 3 goals. That is, of course, assuming that Sweden wins today against Belarus, as Sweden should. The only American chance to finish in first place in the pool would have been to win this game by 3 goals. Eric Lindros sends it back out. And it's Brian Leach opening the period with Darian Hatcher. Hatcher has the puck. He was cut from the '92 Olympic team in Albertville. Hatcher crossed the line, and Denmark's just ahead of the puck. 41 seconds played, third period. Play on to the American end. Gary Suter passed it off to Mike Nagano. And Nagano shoots it in. Up to the point, Chilios, he couldn't keep it in. Well, yesterday in the game against, rather 2 days ago in the game against Sweden, Coach Mark Crawford felt his team really played much too defensively with the lead in the third period.
Yeah, they were outshot 16-4 in that third period and sat back, and the Swedes dominated. And here's a penalty taken by Langenbrunner, a bad penalty. In the neutral zone, Joe Sakic was skating through without the puck. Langenbrunner was thinking line change, put his stick down, and got called. So Team Canada with a 3-0 lead will go on the power play. Neutral zone penalty against Langenbrunner. He'll go.
Off for interference at 1:22 of the third.
Take a look at the penalty itself. As you'll see, Sakic skating through the neutral zone, and right there, Langenbrunner just put his stick out and tripped him up. It's just something his team didn't need. Look at him stick his stick out and his foot. Sakic went flying through the air. Bad penalty to take.
First power play for Canada. You would think, given that fact, in the third period, after the game, they might do some griping, if anybody was going to, about the officiating. But at the moment, it seems it'll be the Americans who have the beef, certainly on the second goal, and also about some of their offensive possessions when they buzzed around Patrick Roy, and players were tackled and cross-checked out in front, and that went uncalled. At the line, McKinnon. Now Sakic. Down low, poked away by Darian Hatcher. Well, you make that point because here in the Olympics, those sorts of things have been called very tightly throughout. They weren't in that last period.
Well, they've been very tight with any cross-checking, stick work whatsoever. This one's been a lot more liberal.
Wayne Gretzky winds up. Ricker the save. Kicked toward the net by Shanahan, and then cleared out. Picking down to 1 minute left on the power play. Mark Recchi forced back by the forward-checking Pat LaFontaine. Recchi, the leading scorer for the Montreal Canadiens this season. Fleury into the zone. Back for Recchi. Recchi fanned, kept the puck, and wound up passing to Fleury. Now Ray Bourque, a drive right on, and a stop made by Richter. 17 minutes, 15 seconds remaining. Don't play overtime in this round. 3-0. Canada has the lead. One-on-one Roenick working on Rob Blake. Roenick spin to the backhand for the shot right on Waugh. During an interview between periods, Wayne Gretzky singled out Rob Blake for his strong play in this one. Blake has it, shoots it over the net. Came on to the back of the net. Now Lindros centers, rake in deep, his shot blocked by a sprawling Roenick. Out of the box comes Langenbrunner. Certainly the Americans down by 3 can't afford to spend any more time in this period shorthanded.
Well, best scoring chance there went to Jeremy Roenick on that 360 spinorama.
Now with the teams changing, Tkachuk a chance, but Blake got there quickly to block the shot. Now a centering pass for Nagano. Bouncing puck. Blake couldn't clear it out of the zone. Langenbrunner had it blocked by Blake.
And is Blake blocking 2 more shots? It seems like every time USA tries to get a shot, those big defensemen are in the way.
Maybe tonight the ice needs to be even bigger for Team USA here. They still can't find room.
Well, when they do get through, though, that the 33 standing back there like a wall.
Nagano, rink wide, onto the stick of Leclerc. There you go. Stood up by Stevens. That was a heavyweight collision. 15 minutes, 45 seconds left. 3-0 in favor of the Canadians. Examiner had the first goal. Primo the second. Sakic the third. Steal by Shanahan. He throws it toward the crease. Taken down a Canadian player as he went to the net. And no call from Bill McCreary. That was Yzerman who was pitchforked down. Here comes Yzerman again with Shanahan. That time he fell down as he went to put the brakes on. And a break opportunity, 4-on-3 for Team USA. Leclerc, open ice for Leach. Dumps it back for Wade. His shot hit bodies out in front. And it's skated away by Yzerman. Patrick Waugh made the stop on that shot by Waite after Leach dumped it back to Doug Waite. And Richter hangs on. Patrick Waugh still stopping everything the Americans are throwing at him.
You see here USA on the rush. 3 red jerseys, 3 white ones. So Brian Leach, the defenseman, jumps into the play, gets the puck and goes to the net. A big screen set up, but Patrick Waugh stopped the puck through traffic again.
Roenick and Lindros to face off. 14:56 remaining. Well, won by Lindros, and Pronger had it dribble off his stick back into the neutral zone. Adam Foote dumped it in, then took a shove from Guerin. And fanning on the puck, Keith Carney. He turned it over right in front of his net, and then Brind'Amour fanned to the backhand try. I believe this is the first shift for Keith Carney. It's the first time we've mentioned his name, certainly. Deadmark. Snap one on net. Waugh blocked it down. Roenick couldn't put the follow-up try on goal. Carney kept it in. Lindros, sidestep Deadmark. Lindros flips it in on Richter. And he leaves the puck. For Keith Carney, a native Rhode Islander, played collegiately at the University of Maine. Deadmark for LaFontaine. He was denied by Ray Bourque. Sakic, cross ice for Recchi. Sakic heads for the net. Recchi to Primo for another goal.
Nobody could complain about this one on the U.S. side. This is Primo's best game I've seen him play in a long, long, long time. He went to the net without the puck. Recchi hit him with a pass. And Primo's had a big one here for his club. Turnover. And you see it right there, just inside the blue line. And back goes Team Canada. Now, Team USA had just made a change. Actually had too many men on the ice. And you can see the bad coverage again on the back check, Sean. Now, this is a 3-on-3. You've got to stay with the man without the puck, and the coverage just isn't there. Primo should not be allowed to be that wide open. He was. Recchi made a great pass, and it's 4-zip on a nice goal for Team Canada.
2 goals for Primo, who scored just 15 goals in 56 games for Carolina this season in the NHL. These are his first 2 goals in the Olympics. This is game 3 for each of these 2 teams. And now the Canadians with a very comfortable 4-0 lead. 13.5 minutes remaining. Matthew Schneider, Kevin Hatchett.
Team USA trying to play Carney and Berard. Some here in the third, knowing since it's 4-0, buy some rest. Teammates, this is a tournament that will become very tough on the athletes as far as getting tired goes. And the big games are ahead of them yet.
Now it's looking like Team USA will finish 3rd out of 4 teams in their group, which means they would play the team that finishes 2nd in the other pool in the quarterfinals when it's single elimination. So they're going to face a very tough team, either Russia or Czech
Republic. Yeah, and that'll be Dominik Hasek possibly in goal for the Czech Republic. That'll be a terrific game. And after this one here, we will have Russia play the Czech Republic. And that'll be a nasty game. This Czech Republic has big forwards, people like Jaromír Jágr and Rosie Ruzicka. It'll be interesting.
Both Russia and the Czechs undefeated in Group B. And they play in a game you'll see during our coverage of the Winter Olympics from Nagano on Monday back in the United States.
It looks like Team Canada will play Kazakhstan in their next game. Kazakhstan by far the weakest of the 8 teams. In fact, they didn't even have proper equipment when they got here. And the Easton people, Jim Easton, who runs the company, said, listen, help these guys out. So they gave them sticks, and they gave them skate blades, and they gave them new palms for their gloves. Even the gloves they were using had big holes in them. They just couldn't afford it. Their third goaltender, Sean, he isn't even here.
Here's a chance for Jamie Langenbrunner. He was taken down. The puck wound up in the crease, and Patrick Roy made another acrobatic stop.
Kazakhstan, their third goaltender, he's still back in Kazakhstan. If there's an injury, he's got to jump on a plane. It'll be a 10-hour flight just to get here.
Back at Big Hat, Sean McDonough, John Davidson, Darren Pang. Canada has a 4-0 lead. Joe Sakic has a goal and 2 assists tonight for the Canadians. He did not have a point in the first 2 games. The last goal for Canada, Primo from Recchi and Sakic. 6 minutes even of the third period. Now we're down to 11 minutes, 10 seconds remaining. That's the benefit of finishing first in the pool, as it seems Team Canada will. They draw the weakest opponent from the other pool in the quarterfinals, and that will be Kazakhstan.
The other pool has Finland, Russia, the Czech Republic, and Kazakhstan. The Finns may be tough yet. They played very well in their loss to Russia.
And we should point out the Finns still have to beat Kazakhstan, because that's the one remaining game.
If they don't,
those 2 teams, and we don't want to give the Finns the win, but they should beat Kazakhstan.
If they don't, shame on them. It's that simple.
You made the point about Kazakhstan's equipment. We watched the game last night against the Czech Republic here, and the Czechs had all kinds of sticks and equipment lined up behind the bench, and it looked like they barely had 1 stick per man behind the Kazakhstan bench.
They tried to make deals over here where they want to trade some pins like they do in the Olympics. Here's a couple of pins. Give us 6 pair of gloves. Not so fast.
2-line pass. No reason to smile for Lou Lamoriello. Back at Big Hat. Live hockey action midway through the third period. And Canada has a 4-0 lead. And now it really has turned into the kind of game when the coaches want to play everybody and get some rest and try to make sure nothing really bad happens over these last 10 minutes. And it's very difficult to imagine now that the Americans can come back.
2 turning points in this game. A 5-on-3 for Team USA for 1 minute 40 seconds. Patrick Roy was sensational, along with a goal post that Brett Hull hit. And as soon as it expired, Team Canada went down and scored. Not long after that, Roy did some more goaltending. And in the second controversial goal, Steve Yzerman plowed into Mike Richter. No interference was called, and Keith Primo scored a shorthanded goal. Those were the 2 big goals, numbers 1 and 2 in this game, that seemed to set the tone.
Brian Leach In heavy traffic, turned the puck over to Joe Nieuwendyk. Rod Brindamore couldn't stop the puck behind the net. Keeps to Chuck. Badgered by Shane Corson. Darian Hatcher wrapped up by Brindamore. Brindamore, not the biggest player in the National Hockey League, but one of the strongest pound for pound. When he was in St. Louis, his teammates used to call him Rod the Bod. He spent so much time in the weight room. Shot right on by Waite and cleared away.
Learned all that hard work from his dad. He wasn't a hard-working kid when he started to grow up in British Columbia. His dad said, "Come on, kid, we got to go do some work in the weight room," and he learned to work hard.
His dad knows the benefit of hard work. His dad, Bob Brindamore, is a pipe fitter in a mill in Campbell River, British Columbia.
That's on Vancouver Island, Sean. Is some of the greatest salmon fishing in the world there. His dad, by the way, is here.
8 minutes left. Puck dropped back by Guerin to Deadmarsh, but outside the zone, and it's Sakic sending it back into the corner. Chilio Recchi in to play him. Americans trailing 4-0 as Matthew Schneider carries the puck through center. Jeremy Roenick with a head of steam, lost the puck at the top of the circle to Chris Pronger. Back and forth they go. Yzerman a drive, saved by Richter. Well, this is going to be another American loss. They'll be 1-2 in pool action, but not much to find fault with Mike Richter's play in these 3 games.
He's been good. He's been very good.
Back in a moment.
This is the shorthanded goal in the second period. Yzerman there plows into Mike Richter. Primo followed up the play. Primo made a great play just getting up and following up the play. Richter wanted a penalty called, and I think he had a valid argument. No penalty was. Primo celebrates, and he has had an outstanding game. You know what, Sean? I was just looking at Patrick Roy's goaltending. He's stopped 71 of 73 shots so far in the tournament. How about that?
That's amazing. About a 97% save percentage.
Maybe even a little higher, getting up around 98. Can you imagine?
And many of them were testers in the first 2 periods from Team USA. Offside again. LaFontaine in ahead of Joel Otto. Wayne Gretzky, his wife, the actress, now Janet Gretzky, then Janet Jones when they married back in 1988. She's here.
There she is, sitting right beside Ron Brindamore's father. Janet in one of the hotels here in Nagano. Wayne's in the village with the other athletes. Well, these hockey players and all the teams have thoroughly enjoyed the athletes' village. Being able to talk to the other athletes, and the U.S. athletes all kind of bond together. The Canadian athletes, they bond together. Then they get to sit in the cafeteria and eat together.
Tony Monty said that was the hardest part of this experience, was sitting there in the village eating and looking at the next table, and there's somebody who you really want to go out and beat looking right back at you. Six and a half minutes remaining. Rob Zaminer dumps it into the corner for Canada.
I think it's obvious Canada will win this thing, but for Team USA, I think they'll continue to play hard simply because they don't want to be shut out. There's an extra little dig when you don't get a goal.
LeClaire trying to get away from McKinnon. Red Hull poked it back behind the net for Wade out in front. Great chance for Hull on the forehand, and he scores. Red Hull gets the Americans on the board with 5:56 remaining.
What a shot. Did he show some patience? Great play on the backboard to get the puck off the backboards to Hull, and then Hull went around waiting for Patrick Roy to drop down. Look at the work with LeClaire back there. Look at the big power forward from Vermont work. He gets some help from Brett Hull right there. Then the pass out front from Waite. Now watch Hull wait for the goaltender to go down. And finally, he just rifled the puck up top. He also had to go around the defender's stick that was on the ice. Look at the room. Look at the elevation of the shot. That's why he's one of the greatest goal scorers in the history of the hockey anywhere in the world. Great, great shot by Brett Hull.
Goal for the United States of America. Scored by
he had to wait till Joe Nieuwendyk got out of the way. And Hull scores the goal at 14:04, assisted by Doug Waite. And of course, Hull's decision to play for American national teams and not for Team Canada. Here's a chance for Langenbrunner on a bouncing puck with Waugh to the net, but Pronger was there.
With Patrick Waugh turning the puck over, sometimes if he gets bored, he'll get adventurous.
Primo, a hat-trick bench, shot it wide. Recchi. Look at bump from Kachuk. But Hull had much the same experience as Adam Denmark. Dual citizenship, mom's an American. Hull felt like the U.S. national teams when he was younger had more interest in him than the Canadians. He said that he was at one game. Dave Peterson, the American coach, came down to see him after. Dave King, then the Canadian coach, didn't bother to pay a visit. Brett's played for the United States ever since in international competition. That doesn't sit well with people, given that he was born in Belleville, Ontario.
Sometimes he'll go back into Canada and play against Team Canada for USA, and the fans of Canada boo him.
The Americans putting the pressure on again, and Roenick shot it off the side of the net. They're trying to make a late rally here, but not much time left, down by 3 goals. 4:35 remaining as the puck winds up in the Canadian bench. Blake and Roenick say hello, how are you? Fine, thank you, and you. See you in the village. Back in a moment.
I don't think he said that. You're such a nice guy. Still good hitting in this game, even though it's late. You can see Berard. Oh, gee. Kachuk comes in and nails one of the players. Roenick and Blake will end up with minor penalties. They work. That was Bork along with Jeremy Roenick continuing to battle. You can tell it's a tournament, Sean. And the players, no matter what the score is, continue to battle all the way through. So we see 4-on-4 action now with 2 players in the box.
Matching penalties to Rob Blake and Jeremy Roenick. They're off for roughing at 15:26. Lindros lost it to Hull. Hull just got the Americans on the board a moment ago. Hull crossed the line for Doug Waite. Back to the point. It went past Hull. Back to the American line. That goal by Hull, his second of the Olympics. And the clock ticks down to 4 minutes remaining. And 1:25 left in the matching penalty. Leclerc stopped by McInnes. Here comes Primo again with Sakic. Primo trying to spin around Hatcher. He did, and the save was made by Richter. 3:45 left. Leclerc trying to turn around Bork. Bork, the oldest player for Team Canada. I doubt they have a player who's in better shape than Ray Bork. Well known for his conditioning throughout his career. He's averaged better than 30 minutes a game for the Boston Bruins. Still does at age 37. John Leclerc, Ryan Berard, put it on net. Rebound free. Leclerc! He missed the net. And the puck cleared to center ice by Steve Yzerman. Matching minors expire in 40 seconds. And the game ends in 3 minutes and 10 seconds.
You know, in assessing this game, Sean, I've been impressed, of course, with Team Canada because they played well since this tournament started. But I've been more impressed with Team USA in this game than I have been with Canada because I think they played their best game by a mile. They've been good on the forecheck. They've had a lot of glorious scoring chances, and Patrick Waugh has been there. And it seems like Team USA is coming together as a team more than they were early in the tournament.
Canada has been very opportunistic. And the play's been fairly even. Certainly the 4-1 score isn't indicative of the way the game has been played. Blake around to the near boards. Salmoner couldn't get it out. Matching penalties are up. Out the box, Blake and Roenick. Here's Nagano shooting it wide. Langenbrunner trying to go after, being held by Pronger right in front of the net. Chilios puts it to the line. Desjardins just on. Turn it back to McDonald. 2:05 remaining. 4-1 in favor of the Canadians. Madano a shot. Another stop by Waugh. The Chinese women's goalie had a great nickname, the Great Wall of China. And we're going to come up with something similar for Patrick Waugh.
Yeah, the Great Wall of Canada. He's been good and pure. It took a great move by Brett Hull to beat him. Brett Hull also hit a goal post in the first period on that 5-on-3. And Patrick has quietly led his team to a win here to win the A pool, which we think will be a game against Kazakhstan.
Final minute and a half now. Primo in the corner. And Roenick knocked it away to Denmark.
And for Team USA, we think it looks like, but it could change, but it looks like a game against the Czech Republic or the Russian Hockey Club. Both will be tough opponents.
What this will mean is that these two teams, the United States and Canada, cannot meet in the gold medal game. If it ends this way with Canada first in the pool and the Americans third, they would be on the same side of the bracket to meet in a semifinal game. So there would not be what some expected matchup between these two in the gold medal game. Final 30 seconds. And the fans of Team Canada starting to whip it up throughout Big Hat with good reason.
There's been a lot of Canadian hockey fans here in Nagano, very supportive of their team. Team USA, they don't seem to have as many here, do they, as the Canadians here in the building. They too very, very vocal. This tournament just starting, folks.
Yep, the positioning process now is over. The pool round has ended. It's on to the single elimination quarterfinals, and Canada unbeaten in the pool. Victories over Belarus, Sweden, and now 4-1 over the United States. Keith Primo, one of the standouts with 2 goals. Joe Sakic, a goal and 2 assists, and Patrick Waugh stopped all but 1 shot. So we're going to take a look now at the brackets. Russia and Czechoslovakia, the Czech Republic rather, tied atop Group B, and they play later. So the winner of that game would draw Belarus, and the loser would draw the United States. Canada likely to play Kazakhstan, as Finland is leading Kazakhstan at the moment. That's it. We'll rejoin Michelle Tafoya in a moment.
Thank you. Let's have a round of applause for all the players.
Welcome back to Late Night. Thanks to Sean McDonough and John Davidson and Darren Pang and the gang out there. The final score, Canada 4-1. Brett Hull scoring the lone goal for the U.S. Now, to get you caught up on the Finland-Kazakhstan game, it was Esa Tiikkanen's goal making the score 3-1 Finland. And that's the way the score stands. Actually, it's now 4-1 Finland. A goal scored just moments ago in the second period. Finland leading Kazakhstan 4-1. And you want to be sure to tune in tomorrow as CBS Sports coverage of the Winter Olympics continues in prime time.
The ice dancing competition concludes with the free program. Grishuk and Platov stole the gold from legends Torvill and Dean in Lillehammer. Now they have to fight off fellow Russians Krylova and Ovsyannikov to repeat. And the sky's the limit at the aerials eliminations. It's the men's and women's competition, and 2 Americans lead the way. Eric Bergast and Nikki Stone are hoping to bring home double gold to the red, white, and blue. That's tomorrow night on Primetime.
And before your holiday weekend comes to an end, join us on Olympic Late Night. Al Troutwig and I will be back for a full-hour show beginning at 1:07:28 a.m. Eastern and Pacific. And your Olympic Day gets underway on CBS this morning at 7 a.m., followed by CBS Sports special President's Day coverage beginning at 1 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow on Late Night. I'm Michelle Tafoya. Have a terrific evening.
This broadcast is presented by authority of the International Olympic Committee and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express prior written consent of the International Olympic Committee.